Now, I get lots of emails about visual line of sight and how the acceptable means of compliance document affects this. So acceptable means of compliance says to remain visual line of sight, you must be able to orientate your drone. So you are watching me now through a DJI Mini 3. The DJI Mini 3 is only a couple of meters in front of me. I can orientate. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to slowly fly it away from myself, and I'll stop at 25 meters, 50 meters, etc. and see if I can orientate the drone. Because remember, to remain within the acceptable means of compliance, I need to be able to orientate it at all times. Let's go. As you'll see, I've got Roy behind me. He's flying a Mavic 2 Pro above, just to keep an eye on the drone and just provide some aerial shots. Let's have a go. So I'm going to slowly start to fly away from me now. So we've already reached coming up to 10 meters. No issue with orientation there. Just to remind you, I've got 20/20 vision. It's a nice bright day. So I'm going to stop here just over 25 meters. We're on 27 meters. Just going to bring the drone up a teeny little bit, just to keep in the center of the shot. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to yaw it round, as you can see. I've got no issue with orientating that side back on, and then I've got the camera facing the big black section. Lights aren't that useful, to be honest, in this glare, but I've squared up back to the center, and I'm going to keep going away from me now. And we're just passing 30 meters. Now we're coming up to 40. I'm just going to stop now at 50 meters here, and I'm just going to yaw the drone and just see if I can orientate the drone if I stop at some random point. So I can now see that side on, no issue. As we come round, as we come round, then I can just see as we're coming back round that I've got the front on. The front's quite easy to orientate because of the big black camera there, but I could just about see. If I now go to 55, or from 50 to 55, I think I'm going to struggle. So I'm not going to go past 55 meters. So for me, I can orientate the Mini 3 to around about 55, 60 at a push. So I'm not going to go any further than there because I don't want to break the acceptable means of compliance. Now people are asking why? Why do we need to orientate the aircraft? So imagine now I was 100 meters away and I had a failure with one of my gyros, or the GNSS went, to put the correct input in to get the drone back. If you lost GNSS, a hardware fault, and the drone started to drift away with the wind, or you had a really subtle gyro error and the drone started to yaw slowly and you had no idea of the orientation, this is the reason why. You have a fault, you need to get the drone, you need to put the correct input in with the right stick if you're using mode 2. So some people say, well, I'll just look at the screen here and fly it back. Well, you're not visual line of sight then, obviously, if you're staring at the screen or you're staring at the radar to help you. And then again, you're not visual line of sight technically because you're not able to orientate the drone by looking at it. So remember, you can use contact lenses or glasses, but this is a really important lesson. If you were using a Mini 3 and say had a crash and your telemetry stated you were 150, 200 meters away from your pilot position where you are, could you reasonably explain maybe to the CAA or your insurer that you were visual line of sight and could orientate the drone? And I don't think they would believe you at 100, 150 meters, etc. So just be aware of this. Now some people say, well, I'll add some tape to the drone, some reflective tape, etc., etc. But here I'm at, what am I at now? Distance 56 meters. I can just about orientate it. I really don't think tape would make that much of a difference on a Mini. So reality is the Minis under 250 grams are quite useful because in the open category you may fly it near uninvolved people, over uninvolved people, etc., etc. So that's quite attractive, but you have the issue of the acceptable means of compliance. As you can see now, I'm 55 meters away and I'm slowly flying the drone back towards me. So as it comes back, the orientation gets a lot easier to see. It's front on because it's facing me, but I can see the black camera, which is quite useful. There you are. So just to recap, useful distance for a Mini 3 might only be 55, 60 meters if you've got decent eyesight. and 40 meters if you haven't. Now remember, you may use glasses or contact lenses to view the drone, but not telescopes, binoculars.
If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe to the channel or watch the next video in the playlist or the new videos that we've just recently downloaded. Bye for now.